Now, I invite Professor Patrick Hettiaratchi to deliver his talk. Professor Hettiaratchi is the leading professor in University of Calgary, Canada. He is the recipient of Global ESTEC Award, and he has done wonderful job in the field of MSW management, particularly advanced technology like bioreactor landfill and biocell. He is one of our important collaborators, and also he is one of our valued guests for this conference. Professor Patrick Hettiaratchi, please.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction, Dr. Kumar. And also I want to thank Dr. Kumar for inviting me to come and talk to you and I think provide some expertise to the discussions that will be going on for the next today and tomorrow. I'm here for a number of reasons. One reason is that I came from Sri Lanka. I was there for the last 3 days organizing and helping them run a short course on solid waste management. And I spent one whole day standing up and talking to them and delivering my expertise to over a 6-hour time period. I'm not going to torture you with that. I'm going to be around here, and I see that I have a couple of small presentations over the next today and tomorrow. So because of that, I want to keep this talk short as much as possible, and that way I guess we can probably be on time as long as the work schedule is performed. One of the things that I want to focus is pretty well talk about solid waste. Solid waste is not a new problem. In fact, this problem has been there for a long period of time, and I'm coming from Canada, and Canada is, if you look at the numbers on a per capita basis, we are at the top. We produce about 1 ton per person per year. So that's a whole lot of waste that we are producing. But then if you go back in Canada, 60 years ago, they didn't have a big problem. So now we do have a lot of waste that's being produced. So we do have that problem, and I think the solutions are being sought, and we continue to evolve. So there is the way that we normally talk about solid waste is it's a problem that has no solution. There's no single solution. That's the way it is. We talk about incineration, we talk about landfills, we talk about gasification, or we can talk about composting. But it is not a single solution problem. So that is the most important to understand. And also technology is very important. But technology is not the only answer, because the solid waste creation is a socio-economic issue. So you want to make sure you understand when you want to find solution, you need to understand the problem first. So when you try to solve it, you need to start from the beginning, the creation of the waste, and go from there to the end. The way that we normally define is from cradle to grave. And you have to address that from the cradle to grave. That's the only way you can solve that. So I think those concepts are important. I'm not going to be talking very particularly about the technologies I develop in Canada, because it's very specific to what we are doing there. But I can talk about that when in my presentations later on. But you will see that some of the components can be applied here, and you have to figure out what is going to be important for you, and not what is important to the Americans or the Europeans. So the technology has to be transferred in a manner that is acceptable socio-politically and economically as well. So the technology is not the single answer. That's what I want to emphasize. And so the third thing I want to make sure is that when we talk about the solutions, we can look at as a liability. Solid waste can be a liability, and then you want to get rid of that and you want to do something about it. On the other hand, you can look at solid waste as an opportunity as well. So it's a resource in a sense. So we talk about the production of energy from that, or compost out of that. So the approach that we use in North America and also in Europe has evolved over time. In the past, we used to consider it as a simple problem. Okay, so there are technical solutions. You design a landfill, control your leachate, control your gas, your problem is solved. That was our earlier thinking, but now it has changed. We look at it from a different point of view. We think it is a resource that has to be managed from the day it is created. So that is an important concept that you can adopt as well. I know people are doing that, but I think it has to be adopted universally. That's the message that I have to convey as go along. I think the other last thing I want to talk about is, since I said that I came here for a number of reasons, obviously it's a learning experience for me as well, provide you some expertise, as well as, we want to collaborate. In fact, Dr. Kumar mentioned that, we started a collaboration in the past. I want to continue doing that. And I'm a professor in environmental engineering at U of C, but I have about 30 years experience in the solid waste field as a consultant for a period of time, as a researcher, and right now, we help the communities in Canada as well as in South America, and obviously in Sri Lanka, because I'm born and raised in Sri Lanka and left Sri Lanka about 30 years ago, but still, obviously, there's an attachment to that. So I have seen these problems from various parts of the world, and the interesting thing is, the way people address these problems, wherever they go, it is quite different. In North America, we address in a certain way, and then you go to South America, it's completely different attitude there. The same thing in Sri Lanka as well. But sometimes when I go outside, like go to South America and Asia, I tend to tell them, there are techniques, there are concepts that have evolved over time in Europe and North America. Don't copy them. Make sure that you understand your problem. And also the other important thing is, if you want to apply a technique, sometimes we use land gem for gas generation calculations, and then HELP model for leachate generation calculations. These are all developed in US EPA, and then people tend to think that these are universally applicable. They are not. Primary reason is you have to have your own research done to make sure that those systems work under your conditions. So there's a research component that you cannot avoid doing. So those are my important points I want to make sure that you understand. Research is important because you have to know pretty well what your waste is and what your conditions are. Don't adopt things coming from other countries without understanding that issue. So hopefully these are things that I can convey and we can discuss as we go along, because your solution has to be an Indian solution, obviously. It's not an American solution or a European solution. And that's something that we have to discuss. This is a brainstorming session. I think this is a workshop more or less rather than a presentation. So there has to be give and take. I think that hopefully we can do something at the end of the day. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Patrick, for highlighting some of the relevant issues about North American and Canadian perspectives on MSW management, and also highlighting about the need for collaboration with Indian partners, researchers as well.